What,
Well,
him being
if
in contempt?
let me
No,
let
no,
me
no.
ask you this.
Well,
If,
1 second. Nope, not him.
I
Judge
was
Candid,
gonna
it's all
say,
okay. Everybody needs to be quiet. Judge Candid, court is in session.
I just wanted to say something real quick. I was co-counsel, so I can step in for Mr. Benny until he gets here.
You said you're co-counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so will you be appearing as the plaintiff's attorney or counsel today?
Yes, I will step in for the primary because there was something that might have came up. So I'll be representing Mr. Shawn until the or other counsel arrives.
Okay. So at this time, to prevent me finding the plaintiffs in contempt of court for not showing up, I'm going to allow it. At this time, court is in session. If I'm not mistaken, today we are hearing from a witness who cannot appear in the court for trial on Sunday. So we are going to hear a video recording, or is this witness here today?
She's here, Your Honor.
Okay, is this the plaintiff's witness?
The defendant,
Okay. The defendant's witness, what is her name? His or her name?
Ms.Sill.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to call the witness to the stand to testify and let this be recorded for the record. You all may proceed.
Judge, we also have a recording that we'll have to present in evidence. And I'll be instructing Mr. Denali when to play that, unless he's already sent that to you.
I have not received anything from either plaintiffs, neither the plaintiffs nor the other side.
Okay, so we'll be entering that into evidence. So,
Okay, thank you.
good evening, Miss Sill. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming here today. I know that your time was conflicted on Sunday, so we decided to do this on today, and we will be entering this recording into our case on Sunday. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and I'll also be playing a video evidence um, for you um, in this case.
Okay.
Um, Sidebar. Just because I don't. Hang on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the third clip that was sent to me, Mr. Denali.
Can you tell me what it contains on the text
Mrs.
on the
It, it
text?
it pertains to interaction between Shawn, you, and Mrs. Hill. You got it?
Not yet, because I didn't know I was going to have it. My apologies to the court.
Okay, I'll give you a little time. I'll proceed.
Part
So
three,
thank you.
correct? Part three.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let me know
Thank
when
you,
you're ready.
Miss. Thank you. I'll let you know when. Miss Seal. So I have a few questions just to ask you today. We just need some straightforward answers to these questions and answering them honestly and to the best of your ability. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you describe Shawn's behavior on BA's TikTok panel that particular day?
Describe his behavior or describe what I witnessed.
Yes, what you witnessed, the behavior that you witnessed from him on BA's TikTok panel that particular day.
Well, on that TikTok panel, I witnessed him being what I called as disingenuous, and then it went from being disingenuous to, I would say, making racially charged comments and speaking of stereotypes
Objection, Your
against
Honor.
Black people.
Objection, Your Honor. How can
What is
she?
your objection?
She's speculating on my client's opinion. She can't determine something that my client is saying based on her opinion.
I asked her
Do you
to describe his behavior based on her
okay? So
interaction.
do you want me to tell
Hold
you
on, Miss
what was
Seal.
said?
Hold
Oh,
on, Miss
okay.
Seal. Yeah,
But
we'll
she
get
also
there.
stated, Your Honor, that
Clarity.
she
For
also
clarity.
stated that she's giving her opinion based on, you know, how he was acting and determining the conversation based on her opinion,
Yes, this is
not
her.
on.
This is simply
Okay.
her interaction with Shawn that day on your panel, and she is describing his behavior based on her interaction.
Okay, so is this relevant to Shawn coming back to this platform
Yes, it's
and
a leading question.
the relevance of your witness testifying today
I'm
about
showing
this
that.
platform?
Yes, so it's just showing that his behavior carried on to Mr. Denali's panel as well.
Was this other panel before or after he was on Mr. Denali's panel?
Before.
So before he came to Mr. Denali's panel, he was on another panel where the witness witnessed him or engaged with him, and this is the witness now stating what
Yes, and
she
it continued on to Mr. Denali's panel.
I would have
told.
to object, Your Honor, based on the fact that one panel is different from another. Just because something happened on a different live doesn't mean it shows the character of one's person. Because every panel is different, that's not enough to base someone's opinion on one's character.
Objection
Oh,
Uh,
sustained.
so if I'll
Objection.
interject,
I will. Objection sustained. You may ask your witness another question.
thank you. Um, Miss Seal, would you say that the comments that he made on that panel were offensive to you?
Yes.
Thank you. How did you how did you personally feel when he made those statements?
I felt offended, which is why I spoke up on the panel.
Okay. So did Shawn escalate this situation further by using offensive language towards you and Mr. Denali on Mr. Denali's panel?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. She's leading the witness instead of asking her questions. She's leading the witness and directing her conversation to.
Sustained. You may ask the witness another question.
Judge, how's that leading?
You are leading because you are already telling her how she felt versus her telling you how she felt.
Where in that statement did I say how she felt?
Ask your question again and I'll tell you.
My question was, did Shawn escalate the situation by further using offensive language towards you and Mr. Denali?
So you're leading her to believe there was an escalation. I would rather the witness tell us how she felt, whether it was an escalation, de escalation, or any of that. Now, I will ask a clarifying question. Did Ms.Sill, your witness, also follow the defendant or plaintiffs to this platform as well when the actual behavior for which we are on hearing this case today happened?
Are you asking me that question, or are you asking
I'm
No,
the
asking.
attorney?
so this probably would be better if we had an opening statement in this, but I guess since we're isolated to one witness, and we don't have the overall view of what happened in this case.
That's correct.
It can seem like that. But do you
So
feel,
for the record, defense
should
for
I,
the record, I would like you to make your statement briefly so I can also understand the relevance of the witness because she indeed encountered him on another panel, and that panel and what happened there is not necessarily what we have um, talked about thus far in this trial.
so I'll briefly state my opening statement and then I'll go back to my third question. So just from an opening standpoint, um, Shawn was banned from Mr. Denali's TikTok panel after breaking a simple rule of no one is to be insulted. Instead of accepting that and moving on, he in turn stated that he was being discriminated in this incident. This is not about inclusion, exclusion, bias, or prejudice. I'm sorry, prejudice. This is about accountability. And on Mr. Denali's platform, which is an inclusive space, that does not allow him to be disrespectful or insult anyone. He ignored that standard after making an offensive comment um, on another panel
Objection, Your
about
Honor.
Okay.
this is only an opening
This
statement.
is
How
all
you can't
this is
object to an opening
speculation.
statement.
This is all speculation,
Uh,
It's an
based
opening
on because
statement. You can't
Mr.
object to an
Denali,
opening statement.
you can because
order,
you're
order, order. Objection overruled. You may proceed, and I will allow it because we are gathering a timeline of behavior leading up to what transpired on this panel. So I will allow it.
Okay.
Political three. You
So
can also.
Shawn ignored the standard on Mr. Denali's panel after making an offensive comment on another panel. The argument was brought to Mr. Denali's space, where he escalated the situation by calling both Ms.Sill and Mr. Denali a bitch. That's not a disagreement. That's just straight up disrespect. And um, you you cannot disrespect the house rules, or you will have to suffer the consequences of what is stated on Mr. Denali's panel.
Was the plaintiff aware of the House rules?
Yes, the plaintiff was aware of the house rules. There were also some other claims that he has stated that Mr. Denali in turn stalked him um and blocked him. And later Shawn started a not only messaged Mr. Denali and asked to be removed from subscriptions on his account where Mr. Denali did not respond. He started a petition to get back in this space. And he kept circling back to be back on Mr. Denali's live. So that is just a brief overview. Here, I'm trying to not only present evidence with with my witness, Ms.Sill, about their interaction on BA's live, as well as the interaction that she experienced on Mr. Denali's live, and any offense that she has felt from it.
Okay. So are there any evidence that Shawn was aware of the House rules? If you do not have that now, I
Mr.
will.
Denali, Mr. Denali prides himself as having the most inclusive space on TikTok. He states that in everything that he does, and it is stated on his TikTok on multiple occasions. And I who do have witnesses to that, that will be testifying later on Sunday.
Okay. Thank you for that opening statement. You may proceed with the
Thank you. So I'll go back to my question where you all had moved over to Mr. Denali's panel. So Ms.Sill, did Shawn escalate the situation further by using offensive language towards you and Mr. Denali?
Yes.
Thank you. Did you feel personally offended or disrespected when Shawn called you a bitch?
Yes.
Do you feel that Mr.
I don't.
Denali
Can I
I'm
just
sorry.
say one thing? I don't know how verbal you want me to be, so I don't know if the yes and no is enough, or because I, I'm just. I don't really know how far you want this to go, and I don't want to start talking and then I get a objection, or I'm giving too much. So I just just wanted to kind
That's
of
okay.
point that out.
We'll
Okay.
have some redirecting questions after BA goes.
Okay.
So yes and no is fine.
Okay.
Do you feel that Mr. Denali was justified in banning Shawn from his panel?
Yes.
Would you say that Mr. Denali enforces his rules fairly for all participants?
Um, I would say, I think I would say that he gives some people. Sometimes I have witnessed him give some leeway, but I haven't witnessed anything in reference to like no. I would say yeah, for the most part, yes. I would say he does. For the most part he does enforce the rules, but like I said, every now and again I have seen him kind of, try to, be a little more patient and just kind of like, hey, that's not what we do over here, type of situation.
Have you witnessed anyone since you have been on Mr. Denali's panel call Mr. Denali a bitch and be able to stay on his panel?
I've never witnessed anybody call him that word except for Shawn.
And okay, and this is my last question. Do you believe that enforcing the rules against insults and disrespect make a space less inclusive or more inclusive?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Do you believe that enforcing rules against insults and disrespect make a space less inclusive or more inclusive?
I mean, if it's the house rules and that's the slogan, then I believe it makes it inclusive. Because I mean, as far as I know, the slogan is it's the most inclusive space. But then I also know that there's rules there. So I mean, if that's the host, if those are the rules and that's the slogan, then I would have to say yes.
Thank you, Ms.Sill. BA, this is your witness now.
um, I have a couple of questions for you, Ms.Sill. You
Hmm.
stated previously that Mr. Denali show is a exclusive platform, and you had witnessed. I think your testimony was that Mr. Denali has kept the same rules for everyone on his platform. Is that correct?
For the most part, I would say
It's a
yes.
yes or no answer, ma'am. It's a yes or no answer. Yes?
Yes.
Is that your statement, ma'am? Okay. And you also stated that Shawn had um, an altercation that occurred on another live that spewed over to Mr. Denali's live. Is that also correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to ask you a couple more questions. How long have you known Shawn?
I don't know. That as long as I don't know, as long as I've started joining Denali's live. I don't remember
Okay.
when that was. Maybe roughly April-ish of last year.
And how many how many times have you been in a Mr. Denali's life? A lot, several, a few times. How often do you frequent Mr. Denali's live?
At that time, I was frequenting the live.
Okay, so you would say you're pretty familiar with his lives, right? Is what you,
Yes,
would that be assuming? That'd be correct.
yes.
Okay, so um, I have no further more questions for her at this time, but I would like this to be documented, this testimony, and to be able to bring it back up in court.
Okay, it is so
And
recorded.
we have the video that we want to play. Mr. Denali, you have it ready now?
Yes.
And I'm good. Good. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. What the fuck did you just say to me? That's what I fucking just said. What the fuck did you just say? That's what the fuck I just said. You heard what the fuck I said. Get the fuck out of here, Shawn. Well, then drop me, bitch. See? Boom! Now you're gone. You don't fucking come over here with that shit. You fucking show your colors every fucking time. Fucking black man. He's the first. Stop for 1 second. He's the first one to be banned from the most exclusive live. Ban Shawn now. Any producer in the room, ban him. Block him. Don't have him ever come back over here. You can go over there with BA if you like to, but you're not going to be over here disrespecting people. Ban him now. The first one ever to be banned from, well, actually Big Nick was too, but he's the second one, Mr. Shawn from Leesburg, Florida. Don't fucking play with me.
That's why you don't align yourselves with racists. He's a racist. That's why he's so okay.
I'm just happy that I was able. I'm just happy that I was able to be the one to make him show his true colors. Because the only part he left out was.
You think I'm a fucking joke?
The only part he left out was the black dude, or.
Your Honor,
I'm sorry. Hold on.
may I readdress the witness?
Hold on. You get a chance.
Okay.
Mr. Denali, do you have the clip before that so we can hear the end of what the interaction between Ms.Sill and
Okay.
Shawn?
To be clear,
Because I wasn't aware that it began like that.
I would like to know who was speaking in the video we just heard. Clearly, I heard Mr. Denali's voice, but I don't want to assume that was him, Shawn, Ms.Sill. I believe I heard another voice.
Yeah, so that was Shawn and Mr. Denali and Ms.Sill interacting.
And it was Ms.Sill who said, I'm glad I was able to.
No,
You want to show him his true colors, something of that nature?
Yes, that
no,
was me.
Okay.
no, that was Mr. Denali that said, you always show your true colors.
I understand. Okay. And this next video,
This is the one before. I wasn't aware that that it didn't have the entire part where Miss Seal was still talking in the beginning. So we're gonna play the end of of the other one so you can hear both their interaction.
okay.
Anybody that says any. So first of all, let's be clear.
Denali, was this on this panel or another panel?
This panel.
This is Mr. Denali's panel.
Was this before or after Shawn was kicked?
This was before, and this is why he got kicked.
Okay. You may proceed.
If somebody has said this to you more than once, I don't think it's everybody else. Clearly, it's you. Again, anytime something is said, you come back with a rebuttal, but you never come back, you never sit and listen and say, oh yeah, I get that, I understand that. Even with this gentleman up here, who clearly he had a Hispanic accent. He said that he represents Hispanic people. He's an immigration attorney. You went to debunk everything this man was saying. You had nothing nice to say, and you came in on the ass end of the conversation, but you still had something mean to say to this man, and you wanted to
debunk everything this man was
What
saying.
did I say mean?
We had a positive conversation with this man and asked questions the whole time before you came up. And that's why everybody's in the comments saying that you were embarrassing. And even the man had to stop it and say, this is disingenuous. So at this point, we all have listened to you on BA's Live. You may not want to repeat the things that you were saying on BA's Live, but you were very comfortable. You were very comfortable on BA's Live in the MAGA community, and you were very comfortable with spewing very racial things.
I'm comfortable right now. What do you want me to say?
Whether it was stereotypes.
I'm comfortable right now. What do you want me to say?
I don't think you raising your voice is not going to make anything any difference. Talking loud don't make you right. And talking loud does not scare me. Okay, so relax.
All right. So, you want me to sit up here? I'm comfortable now.
1 second.
Okay,
This is where I started my lives. This is where I started.
Saying in BA's Live.
Okay,
about how the black people in basketball
being scared of heights and not.
Are you done?
Like I said, being scared of heights. I'm not going to go back and forth with somebody who clearly, like I said, he's disingenuous, and whether he wants to admit it or not.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may.
Hold on 1 second. This is still my witness.
Counsel for the plaintiff.
I just wanted to state in that video that was Ms.Sill that was speaking, and that was Shawn that was interacting with her, and Mr.Denali. So I just wanted to state the people that were in the video. And just to make it clear, Ms.Sill, do you acknowledge that that was your voice in the video that was played?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any further questions for the witness?
Permission to address the court, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Benny's here now.
The defense currently have the floor. Defense, are you done?
You can allow
No,
Mr. Benny to
I have.
speak since BA was his
I just
co-counsel.
have one more question for her, and I'll hand it over to the primary, which is Mr. Bean. If I may, please ask the Ms.Sill one more question, if allowed. Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
Okay, Ms.Sill, from the video that I've heard, that we all just heard right now, are you basing the argument on why Shawn shouldn't be allowed on the platform because of racial undertone, or is it the fact that he called Mr.Denali the B word?
Wait, what was your question?
Are you we're here because Shawn's not allowed on the platform, correct?
Okay. Are you asking me? Is that?
No, you made the conversation earlier, and Shawn's not allowed on the platform because he was kicked off the platform. But after hearing both videos, it seems to be more about racial issues regarding Shawn as somewhat of a Well, Your Honor, it's not speculation based on the video.
You can ask another question. Sustained.
Okay.
Another
Would
question.
you say this? Okay. Would you say this argument's more about racist, Shawn being racist, or what he said to Mr. Denali?
Is that a question for me?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, you called Shawn a racist on here, ma'am.
Because he
said
is. I witnessed.
Advise the witness, if you're not fully comfortable with answering the question, you do not have to answer the question.
Okay. I mean, again, I don't really know how this is supposed to play out. I can tell you what happened. I can tell you what I witnessed on BA's Live, and then I can tell you
That's
how
fine,
it
ma'am. That's
went
not why
over
I asked
into.
you.
I'm speaking to the judge, and then I can tell you
Your Honor,
what happened on BA's
I'm
live,
asking a
and then
direct
how it
question,
stumbled
ma'am.
over into Denali's live. I don't know how to answer the question of why Shawn is no
Well, let
longer
me reframe.
on.
Let me reframe the question. Do you think Sean's a racist?
Yes,
Okay. And what would give you that assumption?
the things that he said on your live that you allow him to say on your live.
Okay. Can you be more specific, please?
Yes, I can. I can be very specific. He was on your live, and Shawn, as well as some other people, were on your live, saying some very racially charged things. They were talking about why Black people are not in specific areas in government, why Black people don't fly airplanes, why Black people, just a lot of things about Black people. I witnessed multiple people from Denali's live come up on your panel to speak in defense of Black people. You allowed for your mods to drop those people. And then when I came up on the live after witnessing the things that were being said, I said to Shawn specifically, I said, Shawn, and this is why you are considered disingenuous. You stopped me. You said, Ms.Sill, no personal attacks. After you said the things that you said, you allowed me to continue on. And I said to Shawn, well, I'll be specific. I said, you guys have a lot of negative things to say about Black people, but yet we have had to have a law passed to allow Black people to be able to wear their hair the way they would like. And
Objection, Your
Shawn, yep, you
Honor.
asked.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection.
What is your
The,
objection?
How
the
you objecting
witness
to her statement?
objection to the testimony, Your Honor. She's going on and on about something that has not been proven to the court. We heard her say her opinion of what she believes Sean is. Okay, can't touch that.
Objection sustained. I
Okay.
will now acknowledge Mr. Benny, the primary counsel for the plaintiffs. Mr. Benny, you
Good
have the
evening. Good evening, Your Honor. And please allow me first to apologize to the court for my tardiness. There was an emergency that I had to attend to, so I apologize to the court for my tardiness. I have been able to hear some of the testimony, and with the court's permission, I would like to ask Ms.Sill a few questions.
So, Your Honor, may I ask a question really quickly to you?
no.
Okay.
You have the floor, Mr. Benny.
Good evening, Ms.Sill. How are you?
Good evening. I'm well, and yourself?
You and I are familiar with each other. Am I correct?
Yes.
You were once a mod on Mr.Denali's panel. Am I correct?
No.
You were never a mod or assisting Mr. Denali on his panel at any
No.
time?
No.
Interesting. Also, let's go to the next page. Are you familiar with any of the rules of Mr. Denali's page?
Yes.
Would you be familiar with the rule of Mr. Denali, uh, who gave the rule that no one is allowed to go to another page and then take what's said on that page and bring it back to his page? Are you aware of that rule?
No.
Well, okay, we'll get to that too. You seem not to be aware of a lot of things. You're giving your
Because that
testimony.
wasn't a thing.
Okay, I'm not talking about a thing. I'm talking about a rule, and please
That was.
only answer when a question is asked of you, please. Thank you. Now,
Okay, so can I?
now,
I'm
Order,
going to ask
Your
right now.
Honor,
Please
Your
don't be
Honor,
condescending and
Your
don't be smart
Honor,
with
Your
me.
Honor,
order, order,
may I
order,
speak, Your Honor? Could I please treat the witness?
order. Let's redirect. Questions, be they tough questions, soft questions, are not condescending. We are not, this gentleman is questioning the witness. He's not being rude. He is not downplaying anything. He is asking specific questions, regardless of how you feel about them. So I would advise the defense to please let your witness know that she is starting to be combative and there are no questions for me as the judge, I would advise the defense to counsel your witness on what's currently transpiring. Mr. Benny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms.Sill, I'll return to your testimony. Your testimony is that Mr. Shawn, my client, according to your testimony, is a racist. And you said that you founded that based on a conversation that he was having on Mr. BA's page. Am I correct?
Yes.
So, according to the one conversation that you heard, the one conversation, you made the judgment call of a character of an individual. That was your call, rightfully so. Why did you take it back to Mr. Denali?
Well, to clarify, that was not the only time that I witnessed Shawn speak this way, hence why I
We're only
said,
going to talk about what you testified to. No other time. We're going to just talk about what you testified to. You testified to that. You heard that. That's what you testified to the court. The question is, what was your reasoning for taking it back to Mr. Denali for what you heard?
so I took it to Mr. Denali because Shawn had already been called a racist on Denali's live. Shawn had already been called disingenuous on Denali's live, and Shawn had already um, denied being a racist, denied being disingenuous on Denali's live. So when I witnessed him doing these same things on BA's live, I told Denali exactly what I witnessed, so he would be aware of what was happening.
Understood. So let me be clear. You're not a mod. You're not a producer. So my next question would be, is there something or was there something personal between you and Mr. Denali that would have you report to him conversations on other people's lives? What led you to be responsible or feel responsible to take Mr. Denali?
Objection. This is
What's the
speculation.
I'm
Are
just
you
asking, what was the
speculation
reason? What was the
of personal
reasoning?
Mr. Benny, order.
him
What is your
speculating of a personal interaction outside of this space with them is doesn't hold relevance. This conversation was held on a panel.
Yeah, if I may, Yana, I'm
objection
asking.
sustained? You may ask her another question.
Okay, you took information back to Mrs. Denali. You weren't an employee of his. Why did you take the information back?
Because we were all frequenting Denali's live, and when I say we, that includes Shawn, and with all of us frequenting Denali's live and Shawn being called out as a racist and as disingenuous when it came to topics of people of color, I told Denali what I witnessed on another live. I did not report to him. I told him what happened on that live. And I was not the only person who told Denali what happened on that live.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you informed Mr. Denali of what you were feeling concerning Shawn, what was his response?
I didn't tell him what I was feeling. I told him the facts of what took place, the things that were said on that live. They were not feelings, they were facts. And Denali's response was he was quiet initially because I was not the only one who was telling him about the things that were said on BA's live. And then Denali pretty much he left it at that until Shawn came to the live.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, was there anyone else with you on that live who also represented Mr. Denali?
There was other people who frequented Denali's live that was on BA's live. Yes.
Would you remember who those individuals were?
The only one I can remember specifically was Big T, and I remember Big T because he was dropped right before I joined the panel. I can't remember. I know it was a couple other people, but I can't say off the top of my head. I want to say possibly Mr. Rowe, but I can't say for sure.
Okay. I don't want you to say anything you're not sure of.
Hmm.
Now, one other question for you. Are you aware that Mr. Denali has many times been asked about Shawn prior to you coming to the page? Shawn has been there from the beginning. Mr. Denali directly has made statements, videotapes, and been asked if Shawn is a racist, and his reply has been Shawn is many things, but he's not a racist. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of something that I couldn't witness when I wasn't there.
Okay, no further questions for this witness, Yana.
Now redirect.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Ms.Sill, to be
Yes.
clear, who brought up the conversation on Mr. Denali's panel that day?
I don't remember specifically who brought it up because, like I said, there was a few of us who
Objection, Your
witnessed it.
Honor. Objection.
What is your objection?
Asked and answered. She said, I don't remember. That's asked and answered.
Objection overruled. You can continue.
Ms.Sill,
Yes, yes,
do you recall? Okay, I'm sorry. Ms.Sill, did you bring up the conversation on Mr. Denali's panel?
no,
Redirect,
Miss
Your Honor.
Miss Seal, I'm not even finished.
I apologize. I thought you were going to apologize.
And you don't even get a redirect. Oh my goodness. Miss Seal, just to be clear, have you ever had any mod or producer responsibilities on Mr. Denali show?
no.
Also, so in your experience on Mr. Denali's panel, has anyone, regardless of their race, been held accountable for breaking the rules?
Yes,
On Mr. Denali's panel, have you experienced any other individuals that what you would think personally, in your opinion, that were borderline racist people?
repeat the question.
While on Mr. Denali's panel, have you experienced any other people that, in your opinion, were borderline racist people?
Yes.
Have you witnessed Mr. Denali ban any of those people?
Aside, well, no, not for like racial comments. No.
Okay.
Redirect, Your Honor.
Would you? Goodness.
She keeps pausing. I'm not sure right now.
Overruled.
Thank
Political
you.
shirt. You may continue.
Miss Seal, would you say that if Shawn would Shawn have been banned if he had engaged in the same behavior,
Objection, Your
but
Honor.
with a goodness, can I get the whole question out?
It's objection. It's speculation.
What is your objection? What
The
part of what
objection
she
is
said
she's
is
asking her, would she believe that Shawn would be suspended from someone else's panel? That's all
That's
of
not what I asked. If you heard the whole
that's
question,
object.
we wouldn't even be having this interaction right
order?
now.
What was your question?
Just to state my question, I'm asking Miss Steele, would Shawn have been banned if he had engaged in the same
Objection.
behavior?
How would
Miss
Objection
she
Miss
know?
Candy,
sustained.
Judge, can I get my question
Objection.
out?
Objection sustained.
Would Shawn
And
have been
you may
banned
ask
if he
another
had
question.
engaged in the same behavior, but with a different race person?
Objection, Your Honor. How would she know what someone else would do?
Miss Seal,
Objection sustained. You can ask another question.
Ms.Sill, in your opinion, does allowing someone to repeatedly insult others make
Objection
a space?
again. Opinions
What is
is
your
not evidence.
objection?
Opinions are not evidence. Objection to
You
opinion.
can ask opinionated questions.
Objection to opinion. More to fact.
Objection sustained. You may ask another question.
So we can't ask opinionated questions because he asked for her opinion
Objection.
on
Now
multiple
she's
times.
arguing with the court.
I'm talking
Objection.
to the judge. I'm
You're
talking
not.
to
A
the
judge has made
judge.
his ruling. Objection.
Judge, just for clarity, we can't ask opinionated
I
questions.
approach the bench, both of you. Opinionated questions are often speculatory and leading. I would rather the witness state their opinion or belief rather than ask about their opinion. It is my opinion that this is a good witness. That's just an opinion. So you two may go back to your respective places and we can continue the session. Political Cherie, you have the floor.
Thank you. Ms.Sill, does allowing someone to repeatedly insult others make a more inclusive space?
I don't believe so.
Miss Ms.Sill, just to be
Yeah.
clear, was Shawn banned because of his race or because he called both of you and Mr. Denali a bitch?
It was because of the vulgar language. It was the B word.
Thank you, Miss Hill.
Read it, Rakiana.
And examining your witness.
He doesn't get a redirect. He got a whole I'm the only one that can redirect. It's my witness.
Your Honor, may I address the court, please?
If the defense is done with their examination and questioning,
I
if
am
they have
not.
any further questions,
I have.
Political Cherie, have you no further questions for your witness?
No further question.
Okay, Mr. Benny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms.Sill, you
Yes.
made a lot of statements there in reference to Mr. Denali and Mr. Denali's page. I would like to get some things correct for the court. Were you present in Mr. Denali's page before Shawn or after Shawn?
I'm sorry. It was a noise in the background, so you kind of cut off. Can you say it again?
Were you present on Mr. Denali's page before Shawn or after Shawn?
What does that mean? Before or after him?
Shawn was there with Mr. Denali early on when he began his page. Did you come later or were you there when they were together?
Okay, I think I know what you're asking. So Shawn was around. He was frequenting the page before I came along.
Okay, thank you for that. So those times that Shawn was at the page, when you came to the page, was there a problem between Mr. Shawn and Mr. Denali at the time you came to the page?
Not that I know of.
Have you had any differences with other people on Mr. Denali's page while you were there? Since you came there, have you had differences with others?
Objection. What does this have to do with Shawn?
Credibility.
Judge, can you allow me, I mean, how is this
My
showing
client has been
credibility for
my
his
client
client
has
being banned from a page?
Your Honor, my
How
client
is this
has
showing credibility from his
my
client being
client has been
banned from a
if
page?
if the attorney wouldn't mind, my client has been called a racist. I should be allowed to protect. Are you speaking? I can't hear you, Your Honor. You're
Are
muted.
you on mute, Candid?
Can't hear you. She muted.
Muted.
Candid, you're muted.
Objection overruled. The relevance of it is sustained. His question is sustained. I believe it is a relevant question, and he is just asking, have she had any quarrels or differences with another individual on the panel? How that situation was handled, or how she feel about that, I believe, is relevant to understanding the gravity of the situation. So I will allow this question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so can you ask the question again? So I mean, it sounds like
You said that you came after Shawn. He was already there. There was no problem between he and Mr. Denali, already testified to. And my next question to you was, after your arrival, have you yourself had conflict with people on Mr. Denali's page?
people, no. A person, yes.
Okay, who would that person be?
Karen Land.
And what did you also call Miss Carolyn?
What did I call Miss Carolyn?
Was there ever, let me redirect the question. Was there ever a time when you called Miss Carolyn a racist?
Yes, I did.
So calling individuals racist is something that's not happened once on Miss.
Objection. Objection.
What is your objection?
He's stating that my client has a tendency to call people a racist. That is speculation.
Well, Your Honor, according to the testimony today,
Your
she
client,
called. She
excuse
called.
me,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Benny,
Yes, ma'am.
there's an objection. And I asked the individual, what is the objection?
Mhm.
That individual has to tell me what the objection is. I do not need you interrupting
Yes.
before I rule on the objection.
My apologies, Your Honor.
Objection overruled. The client has admitted that she has called another individual a racist who she had a quarrel with on the platform. I will allow further questions. Mr. Benny?
Ms.Sill, your testimony today is that you not only have called Shawn a racist, you've called Miss Carolyn a racist, and for information for the court, Miss Carolyn was taken to trial and found not guilty. Um, but Ms. Sill, I would like to ask you a question. For the individuals that you've encountered, what actions of resolution have you taken with those people?
Objection. Objection. Judge, my Ms.Sill is a witness. She is not on trial here.
Objection sustained. Mr. Benny, you may ask another question.
Ms. Sill, you've came to the determination of the character of individuals. I would like for you to explain to the court why you hold that position.
I hold
Objection.
that
Your
position.
Honor, Your
This
Honor,
Ms.
I have a
Sill is on.
sidebar
She
for
is not. She is not on trial here. She is a witness. She's
Your
only a
Honor, I have a
witness to what the
sidebar for the
interaction
primary.
of Shawn's banning.
Objection sustained. You may ask another question.
All right.
Before that, Your Honor, I have a sidebar with the primary counsel. If he could, if I may ask him to look at his messages, because I can't speak in open court, and it's the only way I can
Cannot
have a discord with him. So if he could pause for a quick second to
over the
read my
court.
message, I would appreciate it.
Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Okay. Please do not talk over me. If you cannot hear it in the court, then I will not allow the sidebar that you all are talking about, because I'm not sure where this is coming from. I'm not sure if you have uh, some other outside influences. I'm not sure what's going on here. You gave the floor back to the primary counsel, and Mr. Denny now is conducting this hearing.
Well, I don't have a problem, Your Honor, saying in open court. I just didn't want to disrespect the court by speaking out in the courtroom.
then you needed to ask for permission from the court to speak, not to speak to me. You needed to ask for permission from the court to
That's
speak.
correct. Mr. Benny, you may continue.
Ms.Sill, I apologize for the interruption and thank you for your patience. But I, again, would like for you to briefly explain to the court why you came to the determination that Shawn and Miss Carolyn were racist. And I'm asking you, after that determination, what was your motivation from there? What was your purpose? After you gained this information, you've already said how you feel. What did you do from there?
I don't understand. This is like a multi-tiered question, so I don't know what you want me to answer first, or how you what you want me to do with this.
Okay.
Mr. Benny, please
Need to ask the question. Yes. You determined that they were racist.
Objection, Judge. How does this pertain to Mr. Denali banning Shawn from his platform? He's questioning the witness like she banned Shawn.
Sustained.
Okay. Thank you. Could you answer the question, please?
I don't know what I'm answering. I mean,
Objection.
it sounds like it's multiple tiers here.
So I would advise you, Madam Witness, you do not have to answer the question. Mr. Benny, the defense objected, it was sustained. You may ask the witness another question.
Okay.
Caution the witness from answering the previous question.
Okay.
All right, Ms.Sill, with the conflicts that you had, were there any more?
You asked were there any
Any that you witnessed on Mr. Denali's page, or any that you were a part of?
Ask the question again.
Were there any confrontations from individuals? Let me put it specifically. Were there black individuals, melanated people, who made statements to white people on Mr. Denali's page? Have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
And in experiencing that, did you then call the black person a racist?
I don't understand that. I don't understand that part of the question. I'm gonna tell you what you could. Okay, just a second. Tell me if I'm understanding the first question correctly, so I could make sure I'm answering this correctly. Are you asking me, have I witnessed other black people have issues with white people on Denali's platform?
Have you witnessed, let me say this clearly, have you witnessed African American people use profanity, call people racist, get into arguments, disagreements, overtalk Mr. Denali? Have you ever witnessed any of that?
Yeah, I've witnessed conflicts on both sides on Denali's platform.
Okay, so my question is, those individuals who were black, did you, one, call them racist, and were they removed from the panel?
That part of the question, I don't understand. I don't know how to answer that.
It's a very simple question. Have you witnessed any African American people who use profanity, who overtalk Mr. Denali, who also cussed at other people, who call white people names? Have you witnessed any of those black people being removed because of it?
No.
Thank you for your testimony. No further questions.
Thank you.
At this time,
I only have a last few questions because I'm supposed to be having the last word anyway.
You have the floor.
Again, Ms.Sill, um, you stated to Mr. Benny that you had an interaction with other people in which they were borderline racist, specifically Miss Carol Ann. Has Miss Carol Ann ever been banned from Mr. Denali's panel?
No,
Did Mr. Have you ever heard Carol Ann call Mr. Denali a bitch?
no. I've never witnessed anyone except for Shawn.
I'll ask that question. Have you witnessed anyone call Mr. Denali a bitch and still be on Mr. Denali's panel?
No, the only person I've ever witnessed call.
Objection, Your Honor.
What is your objection?
She can't give that answer because she's not on Mr. Denali's page every day. So she can't give an
That's
honest
why I
answer.
stated, have you witnessed?
Objection overruled.
But I've never witnessed anybody call Mr. Denali out of his name, the B word or anything other, except for Shawn. Shawn's the only person I've ever witnessed. I've witnessed conflicts on the page, but I've never witnessed anyone call Denali out of his name, except for when Shawn did it on that day.
Ms.Sill, were you
Ms.Sill,
present?
oh my goodness, can I finish my questioning? Please,
Wow. Okay.
also, goodness gracious. Ms.Sill, let's be clear here. Did Shawn call you and Mr. Denali the bitch word on this day?
Yes, the day in question, yes. He called me the B word first, and when Denali started yelling, they started having words, and then he called Denali the B word as well.
And was Shawn banned because of his race or because he called both of you a bitch?
From my knowledge, it was because of the derogatory word that he called Denali, because I know while while frequenting Denali's live, that there were other racially charged things that were said, and including directly to and about Shawn, or in reference to Shawn, and Shawn was always there until that day.
And do you know of anyone else that has been banned from Mr. Denali's most inclusive space?
Only one other person, but it didn't have anything to do with race. It didn't have anything to do with race or a name calling toward Denali.
Do are And Miss Hill, are you aware of what color that person is that was banned from Mr. Denali's space? What race they are?
Objection. How would she know this person's race? Objection.
She knows that this person is banned. She just said that she knew.
Objection. There's no way she could know his race.
Uh,
Do we know Sean's race?
are you
Objection.
witness? Do you know the individual that was banned?
Yes, I know the person that was banned. Yes.
Would that be Miss Hill? Would that be Big Nick?
Yes,
Does
you
she
know.
know this? Objection. Objection. If how she knows this person, just saying she know him from TikTok. Does she know him personally? Does she
Don't
know
tell me how
about
to
his
answer
life?
my questions.
She objection because she cannot qualify knowing this person. There's no way. She came late to the page to find out information and a story that did not happen before her. She's speaking about something that was told to her.
That's not true. I do know what happened. I was there.
Okay, Ms.Sill, you're entering information, and I can't speak to you directly
Miss
without the judge's
Judge, can
permission.
I continue my questioning because
Yes, you
the
were.
council is making speculation and interfering with my questioning.
Your Honor, knowing a person on a page and knowing a person in real life is two totally different things.
I don't know anyone on this page. I've met no one in real life but Mr. Denali.
So there's no way to know a person's race.
We
We
don't know Sean's race. Is that his correct picture?
we will have a 30-second recess. One moment.
Okay, everybody continue to tap that screen. Go ahead and gift the panel. I mean, wow. Don't forget about the Daily Heart Meet. We still need 7 more for the show. Also, let's blow out these gift goals. Again, if you are not into gifting, you can go ahead and hit the Cash App or the Venmo if you take the $ off. I'm about to put it back up again. Doing some great stuff here. Please go ahead and support the show. Thoughts and prayers are great, but that does not entity not keep the Wi-Fi on. So let's go, let's go, let's go. Tap, 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 share, share, share. This is riveting.
Mr. B, since we have this recess, I'm going to sidebar you.
That's fine. And then again, it's not. The judge has ruled against it. It's not permitted, so we can't do it.
We're on a recess.
Yeah, but the judge has ruled that she
We're
does
on a
not want.
recess.
Doesn't matter. She says she doesn't want that communication until she changes her
She didn't
ruling.
state anything.
Not
She
doing
said recess for 30 seconds.
it. Okay.
Thank you.
So that doesn't mean you can't talk.
I
And
thought she was having a sidebar with BA. He needs you on the sidebar.
I declined the sidebar.
During the recess, is it okay for me to talk to the co-counsel?
It is okay.
He just declined his
Yeah,
co-counsel sidebar, and
Your
now he's
Honor,
forcing it on him.
if Your Honor, there was a ruling in the court where you said you did not want communication through texting because you weren't aware of what was being said and shared, and you didn't want it. And I denied to text back and forth with my co-counsel until the judge gives me permission to do so other than her
Court
ruling.
is now back in session. Are we done questioning the witness?
No, I'm not done
No,
questioning.
he doesn't get. I'm the one that has the final say. This is my witness.
Correct. Mr. Benny,
Yes.
counsel for the defense, you have already said that you are done cross-examining the witness. This is now the defense final questioning. After this, we will submit this witness statement into the court record, and the court hearing will be concluded. Political Cherie, defense, you have the floor.
Yes. Again, Ms.Sill, are you aware of anyone else that has been banned from Mr. Denali's live? Ms.Sill, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Are you referring to anyone aside from Shawn?
Yes.
Yes, it was Big Nick. That was the only
Yes.
other person I know.
Objection on the record, Your Honor. Yeah, I'd like to put it on the record. Objection.
Ms.Sill,
Objection.
Ms.Sill,
Yes,
are you aware what race Big Nick is?
yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
What is your objection?
Foundation. How would she know what his race is?
The same way we know what Sean's race is.
Already stated she is aware of who these individuals are, Shawn and the other gentleman that was banned from Mr. Denali's stage. Because she knows them, she would know the race.
I object to knowing them. I object because I was present way before Ms.Sill. I was there when she came, and I can testify
The council
myself.
is speculating. He's
Ms.Sill was
speculating
not
that Miss
present
Hill does not
to know
know
Mr. Nick.
Big Nick.
I am a witness. She gave false testimony here about her relationship with Mr. Nick because
Prove
I
it.
was
You
present.
can prove it. You
It's
can prove
false
it.
testimony. She
Mr.
You
has
can
Benning,
no
prove it
way of
later. Can
knowing
I
him
finish? Can I finish
outside of the page.
asking my witness?
order,
Objection. She gave false testimony to the courts.
Your Honor, may I
order,
please ask a question?
Hold on.
order, order. Mr. Benning,
Yes, Your Honor.
the plaintiff, your objection was to the fact that she knows the other individual that is banned. Your objection was that she did not know his color,
Not color, Your Honor. Not color, Your Honor. Not color. She
race,
does not know his race. Race is not color.
defense. And I'm going to ask your witness, do you know the race of the other individual that was banned?
Judge, I didn't even ask that question.
Objection overruled. You may continue.
Thank you. Ms.Sill,
Yes,
again, are you aware of anyone that has been banned from Mr. Denali's most inclusive page?
I'm aware of two people who have been banned from Mr. Denali's page.
Yes. Is that other person other than Shawn Big Nick?
Yes.
What what would you say from interaction with Big Nick is his race?
Objection.
Objection
Subjection.
sustained.
Ms. Hill, you can answer the question.
Well,
Objection sustained. That's another question.
Ms. Hill,
yes.
do you know, have you had an interaction with Big Nick on Mr. Denali's page?
I have been on the platform on when Big Nick has been present on the platform, and I actually viewed his YouTube page because he stated I viewed his YouTube page because he stated that he does community activism in Florida, and so I viewed his page to see some of the content that he posts on his YouTube page.
Objection, Your Honor.
From your inter what are you how you objecting to what my witness is saying?
Because viewing a person's page, hearing a person on a page, cannot solidify because she has not given testimony that she's
Well,
seen
you
him
objected.
in
You
person.
objected to the question about race. I asked her has she had
Yes,
about her
and there,
interaction
and
with
there.
Overruled.
with Big Nick.
Continue.
Objection, Your Honor. You can.
Overruled. You may continue.
Miss Seal,
Yes,
have you had any other interactions with Shawn on Mr. Denali's page outside of this particular incident?
wait, can you repeat the question? I'm trying. I want to make sure I'm understanding you.
Have you had any other interactions on Mr. Denali's page with Shawn outside of this particular incident?
I mean, we were on the panel frequently prior to Shawn being banned. So I was coming to Denali's page, Shawn was coming to the page, and we were, there were times that we would be on a panel together, maybe talking about a topic that, that whatever the topic was on that day, we would interact about the topic.
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Speculation.
She answered my question.
There's no verification for the conversation. Speculation, Yana.
Judge, where in there is the speculation? I asked her a question.
There's no verification for the testimony. There's no verification that she had this conversation. There's no verification for what she's testifying to. Speculation.
I didn't ask a speculating question. I asked a question that allowed her to state her experience on Mr. Denali's panel with Shawn.
Her experience has not been solidified from this position.
That's why she's a witness and not this. That's why she's a witness and she's not on trial.
I'll let the judge handle it. Speculation, Yana.
I'm going to saying this. Mr. Denali, one moment, y'all. Mr. Denali,
Yes.
is this a sub only hearing?
The catch on sub only, it was supposed to be a sub only, but I would have to have stopped the live and I didn't want to do that. What's the problem?
I just have people, and this is outside of my judge capacity. I just have people that want to comment.
Right? But
lawyers.
Well, it was supposed to be a sub-only production, but because I couldn't go from a regular live to a sub-only live, and I didn't want to stop it, so I put the chat, and I forgot, I put the chat at sub-only about midway through. So, because if they weren't supposed to see it anyway, it was supposed to be sub-only for this production, but it didn't happen. So the chats are only on sub-only now. So if you want to chat, you got to be a sub. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Political Sheree, thank you so much. Are you done questioning your witness?
No, I've had all my questions rejected. Um, going going back,
You must ask better questions.
Ms.Sill,
Yes.
in your interaction with on this space, have you ever? I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. While you have been on Mr. Denali's panel, have you interacted with Shawn outside, other than this one incident?
Are you asking me, have Shawn and I had interaction only on Denali's page?
Yes. Have you all had interactions on Mr. Denali's page? I don't care about any other panels. I'm just specifically asking, have you all had interactions on Mr. Denali page outside of just this one incident?
Yes, we were
Yes.
frequenting Denali's page. Yes.
In those interactions with Shawn, would you say that he was borderline racist in those interactions?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
You stated that I could not make ask a question that asks for her opinion.
Speculating on racist and racism has not been quantified or qualified.
Before, and it
This
was, it was a, it was, the objection was sustained. Please ask
judge, my questioning is aligned with the fact that they are accusing my client here of discrimination based on race.
Okay. So ask your question again.
So I asked Ms. Seal in her interaction on this page with Shawn, would she state that he was borderline racist?
Objection.
What does borderline racist mean?
Exactly. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Benny called, stated that Ms. Seal was calling not only Carolyn, but Shawn a racist on Mr. Denali's panel. And I want to know if her interactions with Shawn, other interactions outside of just this one, where she interacted with Shawn that she felt that he was a racist.
Objection to the whole questioning. It's all leading. All of it.
Objection sustained.
Judge,
Yes.
in Mr. Benny's questioning, he stated on multiple times that my witness interacted with two individuals and he asked them, he asked her, did she call these people racist? I'm only redirecting and asking these questions about race that she has stated that he has claimed that she has stated to specify the charge of discriminating based on race.
Did
Objection
your
to the
did,
objection to the testimony.
Can the judge ask, can
did
she
your
answer?
did your witness state for herself that she felt as if Mr. Shawn was being racist at any moment or any uh
Yes. She
okay.
stated that in her testimony to Mr. Benny.
So you may ask questions since she's already stated it. I believe now the question would probably be why. Because restating the question, he said he was racist. You went back to borderline racist. So that's, if she answers that, then that is canceling out what she said before. So
That's
we have
fine.
already established that she said that Shawn was racist. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So
Miss Seal,
to probe or explore her thoughts on why she's racist or her experience with them being racist, you can. But
thank
just
you.
ask questions first, okay?
Miss Seal,
Yes.
per your testimony with Mr. Benny, you stated that you had experienced two racist individuals on his panel, one being Shawn, one being Miss Carolyn. In your interactions with Shawn on this panel, outside of this one in particular, have you experienced or stated that he was being racist outside of this interaction?
Yes, I've witnessed other situations with.
Objection. Objection. There was no request for what she witnessed. She said outside of that a statement. She never said witness.
Okay.
I will, I
Experience.
will, objection sustained. You can ask another question for that same
Miss
question
Seal,
you
Miss Seal, have you experienced any other moments where Shawn was being racist on Mr. Denali's panel?
Objection.
overruled.
Yes.
In those same interactions where you state that he was being racist, was Shawn banned?
No.
In those interactions where you have
Objection to the
experienced,
question, Your Honor.
I didn't
The
even ask the
fa-
question.
the
You have
foundation.
overruled. So
In your interaction with Carolyn, where you stated that she was being racist, was she banned?
No.
So let's be clear. The only person outside of Shawn that has been banned is Big Nick, correct?
Yes.
Have you experienced any interaction with Big Nick where he was being racist?
No.
For the record, Miss Seal, for this particular incident, did Shawn call you and Mr. Denali a bitch?
Yes.
And was Shawn banned because of his race or because he called both of you and Mr. Denali a bitch?
It was because of the derogatory words that we used. The B word.
Thank you, Ms.Sill. We rest our case.
Okay. It is recorded that the witness statement and the examination and cross-examination has been done. For the record, it is now submitted to the court as a part of this case. Thank you.
Your Honor, I reserve the right to redirect, not this, but to hold the right to this tape, to be able to bring this tape back so that I can verify to the court during the trial this testimony, so that the people during the trial will be able to hear the testimony of Ms.Sill, because there are some individuals who were the mods at that time, who are my witnesses, who will be able to testify to the truth of these matters. So when I give my list tonight of individuals who were the mods at that time, I think it will make a big difference.
Okay. You,
And I would like to call into evidence Mr. Denali, Mr.Denalixxl recordings.
I hereby establish your right to access this live recording,
Thank you.
that you may get the timestamps that you need in order to bring this up on Sunday.
Thank you, Your Honor. And may I also have access to Mr. Denali's recordings, because these recordings go back quite some time, and I have to go in my thought pattern to remember which ones apply to this testimony, to verify what has been said here today in reference to Ms. Carolyn and in reference to the witnesses' testimony. I'm going to need the videos from those incidents. From Ms. Carolyn, I'm going to need that, and I'm going to need these conversations that she said she had with Mr. Shawn on Mr. Denali's page, where they communicated with each other, to verify if the testimony is true or not true.
In the state of Georgia, I believe that you do not have to have, you only have to have the consent of one party to hold conversation. If I'm not
Mr.
mistaken. So
Mr. Denali is the only one on trial.
I will go ahead and subpoena those recordings for the court so that you may, there are 5 recordings.
There's 3. Are you specifically talking about, oh, 5 from this exact incident, correct? Mr. Denali, you can talk.
Okay. Listen, everything is on YouTube, as I've already stated. Anything that needed to be had, they have. If there's some special request that was supposed to be in by Wednesday, which was yesterday.
All right, so yep, that subpoena was only good until yesterday, Wednesday. I remember that. So therefore, he has provided everything except for this recording. So this is the only recording that needs to be provided.
Right. This recording.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Denali and his attorney, of which received a video, his attorney received a video from me. There's been no communication from his team to my team for me to even receive the extra videos. As a matter of fact, there was a cancellation of a date and a change of a date where we were supposed to have a meeting prior to this. So there wasn't an opportunity for me to request other videos from Mr. Denali.
No, does Mr. Benny, do you not have all the videos?
No, I do not have it. according to the testimony today that was brought in about Miss Carolyn, there was no way.
Order. Mr. Benny, have you submitted your request for the recording?
No, I have not received any recordings, and the testimony today entered
Miss,
new evidence.
Did
so
you
Judge, if we recall in in his statements today,
order. Mr. Benny, did
Yes,
you send
ma'am.
in your request for recordings that you needed prior to today's recording? Did you send them in a timely manner? I believe you had until yesterday to do so. Did you
In a
do that?
timely manner. I've not only spoken to about this here, I've also sent something to his attorney, and I've never received a response. And also, there has been new testimony added today, so I could not request
Benny,
video.
are you aware
Mr.
of today?
Mr. Denali made a he in his questioning.
Order. Mr. Benny, I am aware of today. I have already stated that you are due access to today's recording for Sunday's trial. My question to you, Mr. Benny, we were all on notice that yesterday, Wednesday, was the final day to make your request for any recordings that you needed for your case. My question to you, sir, did you put in your request?
My request was put in, Your Honor, and I would also like to state, Your Honor, that this whole thing with the witness not being able to be available and her testifying first, this all was new. So everything got switched around because the defendant's witness could not be here for Sunday. And because of that, information and what this individual has testified to has added something to this trial of which I didn't even know prior to her testimony.
Miss
So
Judge, can I make a statement? I'm sorry. Can I make a statement?
one moment. So are you now saying that you need more than what was requested because of the entry of this new witness?
Yes, I've never been given an opportunity to adjust as a result of the change for this witness being able to testify first, being informed of it only today. I feel like it's an injustice to me and my client that this witness will be testifying first, and the court has said, okay, no problem. But what I'm asking now is now that that witness has testified and added value to this trial, which is Miss Carolyn and the other individuals, I need the opportunity to verify her testimony.
Can I say something, please? Mr. Benny was the one that asked the questions about Carolyn. I only redirected the questions. This case was this my witness never I never planned any questions about Miss Carolyn in this
Your Honor,
questioning today. Mr. Benny was the one that brought it up. Mr. Benny needs to produce that
if
evidence.
I can recall the testimony as Your Honor stated it,
Okay, hang on. Hang on. One second.
objection,
Hang on 1
objection, Your
second.
Honor,
Stop.
objection,
Stop.
objection, Your Honor. This
Stop
shouldn't be happening.
talking. I will mute
That
you.
shouldn't
Stop
be
talking.
happening, Your Honor.
All right. So,
Order.
sidebar here. It doesn't make a difference because on Sunday she was going to testify to the same thing. He wouldn't have an opportunity to do anything but
Honor, he should not be speaking, Your Honor. He should not be speaking.
I think he's speaking
He
as
should not
Mr.
be
Denali.
speaking, Your Honor. He has an attorney. He should not be addressing the court. This is out of order, and I object to him speaking. And I would like for him to go
I'm
back on
sorry,
mute.
but his face is so funny.
I would like for him to go back on mute.
Order. Mr. Denali, XXL.
He's
Speak.
already been held in contempt of court.
Mr. Benny, your objection is sustained. You now can add your witnesses. I don't know if Miss Carolyn is a witness elsewhere, but you have an opportunity now. You did bring Miss Carolyn, and someone else. You will have more than enough time to get your witnesses together and in order for Sunday's hearing. It has nothing to do with you requesting recordings from today, or any that you may have or should have requested prior to today. The deadline was yesterday. So therefore,
Your Honor, the deadline was changed when you added the witness first. You changed the deadline by allowing her to testify.
what
Miss Judge,
we,
was Mr. Benny not aware of
I
Miss
did
Seal
not agree to
testifying
this.
today?
defense, I'm going to ask you to hold your tongue. Mr. Benny, did you agree to hear this witness today?
No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I did not.
How did you are
Judge,
here?
I was
his
only
plaintiff, the
informed.
plaintiff got on
I
here
was,
and said that
excuse me,
Mr.
Your
Benny told
Honor, I
him to
was
be here
only
today at 8 o'clock.
informed, Your Honor.
Mr.
There was,
Benny, were you aware that a witness was going to be here today on behalf of the defense?
I was aware of a request to
You
have
were,
a witness.
you were aware that the defense was going to call the witness to testify
No, I
today
was aware of
because
I was aware that the defense was going to request the judge to allow this person to testify. And I did not agree with it from the beginning, and I made that clear.
your objection is overruled, sir. You have been able to hear the witness, cross-examine the witness for the last 2 hours. You can now not object to anything that have transpired thus far that you yourself participated in.
Then I'm asking for access
It
to what
is
the defendant has
order,
testified to.
order. It is so ordered that business will continue as usual. We will have the trial on Sunday. This witness testimony has been recorded. And sir, you have every right to build a strong case or stronger case for your client by calling upon whatever witnesses you may to also include them in a case whose names have been brought up today.
Okay,
I,
Your Honor, I would like to know who to submit this to, the defendant or his lawyer, because she's not responding.
I needed to respond to. You sent me a video about it being your birthday.
No, that wasn't the video, only video that you received.
That was.
I am unaware of any videos. I want to
Okay.
keep to today what has transpired, what we discussed. Moving forward, Mr. Benny, you can reach out to any witness or anyone to be a witness. Once you have reached them out and secured a witness, you can let myself and the defense know.
I feel like me and my client are being handicapped because Mr.Denali possesses all of the videos of which I'm talking about, and the courts has limited me from the defense of the exhibiting his behavior in those defenses, and I feel like the court has not allowed me, have adjusted for the defense to allow a witness to go
Mr.
first.
Benny,
But
Mr.
Your
Benny,
Honor, if I may, Your Honor, if I may respectfully, this court has not given any leniency to my client and me, but has adjusted the court for the defendant, but has not allowed me to reenact off of testimony about people to go back to those videos that Mr. Denali possessed and produce them.
Mr. Benny, the videos that you are requesting, if I am not mistaken, they are all available on YouTube.
I don't
Your
think
Honor,
so.
I'd like to
They
file a
are not.
motion to dismiss this
Order,
witness.
order, order.
Yes, we would like to submit.
Videos available on YouTube.
We'd like to submit a motion to dismiss this testimony based
After you've
on
questioned
Based
this,
on
after
this,
you've
based on
questioned this
reasonable.
witness and
We would
also
like to. We would
brung up
like to
new
submit
evidence that
a.
you submitted.
We would
You
like
brought
to
Miss Caroline
submit to
into this
objection,
situation.
Your
I
Honor.
did not ask Ms. Sill any questions
We,
pertaining to Miss Caroline.
Your Honor,
You
we would like to
so what you are
enter a
wanting,
motion.
you need to
Your
produce
Honor,
the evidence of what you want.
we would
If
like
you
to enter a
continue,
motion
if
of
you
dismissal.
continue, we will stop this today, and I will see you back on Sunday. I have heard enough. You
We
all
have a
have
motion, Your Honor. We have a
We
motion
would like for
before.
you, we would like for you to hear our motion based on discovery that we wasn't up to our client, wasn't privy to this disclosure, privy to this date. We'd like to file a motion to dismiss this witness based on not giving the proper disclosure of the evidence that was proceeded today.
And based on
Judge, with all due
racial and
respect,
Your Honor, if I may,
As Mr. Benny's co-counsel was here when
respectfully,
when it began, he
respectfully,
proceeded to represent
respectfully,
himself as the
Order,
co-counsel and
order,
question
order,
this
respectfully,
witness.
respectfully, Your
order,
Honor, based on the
order,
witness testimony.
order, order, order in my courtroom. We will not speak over me or each other. This is a courtroom of law, order, and decorum. I will rule on your motion. Your motion has been filed. I will take a look at it and rule on it tomorrow, not tonight. I have
Okay,
not.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would just like to
Judge,
state
can I just
what the
make a
motion
statement? They've been making
is.
all the statements.
To process your motion, look into it, to
Do
Judge,
you
can
know
I
what
make a
my
statement?
motion's for, ma'am?
the foundation of
Hold on
our
a second.
motion is the
Hold on. Let me
testimony.
just.
1 second, DA. The testimony of this witness was that she believed that two people were racist, and we are also basing this motion on
She is not
racial
on trial.
discrimination. And
She
to
is not on trial.
have this testimony dismissed based on racial discrimination.
Judge, she is not on trial.
I will not.
Her opinion of two people on this panel does not matter because she is not on trial. Mr. Denali is.
Order, order. At this time, I will make my final statement. I shall not hear any more from either side. You all have become unruly and becoming unethical and disrespectful to the court. Your motion has been submitted. I will rule on it tomorrow. The witness statement has been recorded in the courtroom. We will also, if need be, let the jurors hear her testimony, whatever parts Mr. Denny would want courtroom to hear, however that's going to go on Sunday. But this court is now adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I ask a question after? Oh, he left. After all that debacle, he's gone. I wanted to know
Knock
what
his
false
client down
testimony.
too.
No, I just wanted to know what false testimony did I give because I was never a
No, that's not
moderator.
what he was. That's not what he was stating. He was a little upset that
Your
he
Honor,
entered.
we're not in court anymore, so this is off record.
Yes, off the record. He was upset that he entered a line of questioning that pertained to Carol Ann, and I directed those questions back to what he asked. I did not bring up Carol Ann in my line of questioning. I only redirected my questions. And BA was here from the
I don't
beginning.
think we should be able to have
And
this.
if he was against my witness, he should have stated that from the beginning.
I think
But
this needs to
but the
go to the
bottom
court. This
line,
needs to go to the courts.
the bottom line
This
is
needs to
this:
stay in
if
court.
she would have testified on Sunday and said all this same stuff, he wouldn't have had no recordings.
I just wanted to
This
know
is
what
just
false. I
And
just wanted
there's
to
this
know
is
what
just a
false
called
recording.
disclosure. There's a
That was
thing.
all I
Hold
wanted.
on. There's a thing. There's a thing called disclosure, and the defense is privy to this. When we're not